There's a lawyer in Manhattan who just discovered that an AI reviewed 600 pages of contracts in 11 minutes. She spent 3 days on the same work last month. She billed 72 hours. The AI billed nothing. She still has her job, for now. This isn't a story about the future. This is about what's already happening, right now, in offices to people like you. The automation everyone warned us about. The one that was supposed to hit factory workers and truck drivers first. It didn't wait. It went straight for the corner office. If you're a lawyer, an engineer, a consultant, a developer, you've probably felt it. That small shift in how your company talks about efficiency, the new software they're testing, the positions that didn't get refilled after someone left, the junior roles that just disappeared, you might have assumed you were safe. You went to the right schools, you have the credentials, you do the complex thinking work that machines supposedly can't do, but here's what nobody told you clearly enough. The complexity of your work is exactly why you're vulnerable. Let me explain what I mean. For decades, automation targeted repetitive physical tasks, assembly lines, data entry, warehouse sorting. The pattern was obvious. If a human did the same motion 500 times a day, a machine could do it faster, but knowledge work was different. It required judgment, context, years of training. That's what we believed. That's what kept us comfortable. Then something changed. The machines didn't just get faster. They got better at the thing we thought made us irreplaceable. Pattern recognition, not the simple kind, the complex kind, the kind that makes a senior lawyer worth $400 an hour. The kind that makes an experienced engineer invaluable during a system failure. The kind that took you years to develop. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most of what we call expertise is pattern matching. A lawyer reads a contract and knows what's standard and what's dangerous, because they've seen it before. An engineer debugs code by recognizing error patterns they've encountered. A consultant solves business problems by applying frameworks they've used successfully. This isn't a criticism. This is how humans learn. This is how we become good at things. But it's also exactly what machines now do better than us. Let's talk about what's actually happening in law firms right now. Major firms have deployed AI systems that can perform legal research in seconds, not just keyword searches, real analysis. These systems read case law. They understand precedent. They identify relevant arguments faster than a team of associates working overnight. 1AM Law 100 firm reported that their AI system replaced the work of 20 first-year associates. 20 positions, gone, not replaced with other positions, just gone. The firm didn't announce layoffs. They just hired fewer people the next cycle. This is how it happens, quietly, without headlines. One hiring class gets smaller. Then smaller again. The junior lawyers already employed start wondering why there's no one below them. The pyramid narrows at the base, and everyone pretends not to notice. But let's be clear about something. This isn't just about junior positions. That's the comfortable lie we tell ourselves. The AI systems targeting entry-level work today are learning from senior-level work. Every contract they review was written by someone with experience. Every legal memo they analyze reflects years of expertise. They're not replacing the bottom, they're absorbing the top and redistributing it. The same pattern is emerging in software engineering. GitHub Copilot writes functional code in real time. It doesn't just autocomplete, it understands intent. A developer types a comment describing what they need, and the AI generates working code, correct syntax, proper logic, often better than what a junior developer would write. One study found that developers using AI assistants completed tasks 55% faster. That sounds like productivity, until you realize what it means. If 5 developers can do the work of 11, you don't need 11 anymore, and this is accelerating, not in 5 years, not gradually. Now, OpenAI's models can pass the bar exam. They can score in the top percentile on coding interviews. They can write financial analyses that match the work of investment analysts. These aren't parlor tricks. These are benchmarks that represent your job. Here's what makes this different from previous automation waves. When factories automated, blue-collar workers could retrain for other blue-collar work. When agriculture mechanized, rural workers moved to cities for manufacturing jobs. There was always somewhere else to go. But when you automate the lawyers and the engineers and the consultants, where do they go? What's the job above knowledge work? Some people will tell you this creates new opportunities, that AI will augment human workers rather than replace them, that we'll all become prompt engineers or AI trainers or supervisors of automated systems. Maybe. But let's do the math. If one person can now supervise the work that used to require 10 people, you need one supervisor, not 10. 9 people still need a new career, and the supervisor role pays less than what those 9 people used to make combined. There's also a timing problem nobody wants to discuss. The automation is happening faster than people can adapt. A 50-year-old partner at a law firm isn't going to retrain as a data scientist. A mid-career software engineer with 15 years of COBOL experience can't just pivot to machine learning. These aren't failures of character. These are realities of human learning curves. We don't adapt at the speed of software updates, and the financial pressure is enormous. If you're a law firm competing against other firms, and your competitor deploys AI that cuts research time by 80%, you have to match them, or you lose clients. If you're a tech company and your competitor is shipping features twice as fast because they use AI coding tools, you have to adopt the same tools, or you become irrelevant. This isn't about cruel executives wanting to fire people. This is about competitive survival. Once one company automates, everyone else has to follow. So what does this mean for you? If you're early in your career, the ladder you are planning to climb is being removed one rung at a time. The entry-level job that teaches you the basics doesn't exist anymore. The mid-level position where you develop judgment is shrinking. The senior role where you finally get paid well now has 50 qualified people competing for it instead of 10. If you're mid-career, you're in a strange position. You have expertise the AI is trained on, you're expensive, you're harder to replace than a junior person, but you're also the most expensive line item. And if the AI can do 70% of your work, you become a luxury. If you're senior, you might think you're safe, you have relationships, you have judgment, you have strategic thinking. But here's the question: how much of your value comes from doing the work versus reviewing work others do? Because if it's the latter, and there are no others anymore, what exactly is your role? This isn't pessimism. This is pattern recognition, the same skill you use in your job. Look at the data. McKinsey estimates that automation could displace up to 30% of hours worked globally by 2030. White-collar work is the most exposed category, not because it's easier, because it's more digitized. Because it lives in systems the AI can access. Goldman Sachs research suggests that generative AI could affect 300 million full-time jobs worldwide. 2/3 of occupations in the US could be partially automated. 1/4 of current work tasks could be fully automated. These aren't activists making predictions. These are investment banks calculating market impacts. So what do? I'm not going to pretend there's a simple answer. There isn't, but there are things worth understanding. First, recognize that versatility matters more than depth now. The person who only does one thing extremely well is competing with AI that does that one thing. The person who can do 6 things adequately and connect them in ways the AI can't has more options. This doesn't mean abandon expertise, it means don't let expertise become narrowness. Second, understand that human value is shifting toward judgment in ambiguous situations. Not routine judgment, ambiguous judgment. The AI is very good when the rules are clear. It struggles when the rules conflict, when ethics matter. When context is everything. When the right answer depends on reading a room or understanding what someone isn't saying, that's still human territory for now. Third, your relationships matter more than they used to. The AI can do the analysis. It can't have coffee with a client. It can't build trust over years. It can't navigate office politics. If your value is purely technical, you're exposed. If your value is partly social, you have a buffer. Fourth, learn how the AI works. Not because you need to become a machine learning engineer, but because understanding the tool gives you leverage. The people who survive aren't the ones doing the work the AI does. They're the ones directing the AI, evaluating its output, knowing when it's right and when it's dangerously wrong. Fifth, prepare for less money. This is the part nobody wants to hear, but if the market can do your job with fewer people, salaries will compress. The top performers will still do well. Everyone else will earn less than they used to. This isn't fair, but it's economics. And finally, maybe the most important thing, don't wait for permission to adapt. Your industry won't announce the transition. By the time it's obvious, it's too late. The people who navigate this successfully won't be the ones who were the best at the old job. They'll be the ones who noticed the change earliest and moved while they still could. There's no dramatic conclusion here, no call to action that solves everything. This is just what's happening. A lawyer in Manhattan just watched an AI do her work in 11 minutes. She still has her job. For now, the question is what she does next. The question is what you do next. Because the world where your credentials guaranteed your career, that world is already gone.